Hi everyone, welcome to week 4 of college writing. As I said in an announcement I posted earlier today, the narrative essays from week 2, I'll have all of those graded by Thursday. I just need a couple extra days to get through those, so all of those will be graded by Thursday, and I'll be caught up with everything from this past week, week 3, by Friday, and I'll be working on your week 4 things that you submit through this point in the week. So again, I apologize for the delay in that. I had a very sick 18-month-old, but you will have all of your narrative essays by Thursday graded. So let's look ahead at this week. We're going to be working on that definition essay, drafting that first one. First of all, something important to note is that the next several essays we're doing are 3 to 5 pages. Your narrative was 2 to 3. All of these other essays, the definition, argumentative, the letter to the editor, things like that, are all going to be 3 to 5 pages. That means it has to be a minimum of 3 full and a max of 5 full. The works cited page would be in addition to those. So if you have a minimum of 3 full pages, the works cited doesn't count towards those 3 pages. If you have a max of 5 pages and you max out and you're at the full 5 pages, the works cited page will not count against you as a 6th page. So you'll be working on your drafting your definition essay based on the work you did this past week in week 3. Let's see. Remember to start with the illustration, something that demonstrates what the problem is with the word that you're using. And here is where, in the first paragraph or so, when you're giving your personal example, illustration, something like that, you can write in the first person point of view, which is I, me, words like that. Then as soon as you're done with your personal example, you have to switch into the third person. That's the more academic level. In the announcement that I'll put this video in, I'll include a link to OWL that talks about first, second, third person, formal versus informal. These essays now need to be more formal. The narrative was more informal because it was all about your personal faith experience. Everything now is going to be much more formal and academic. Here in this definition essay, you're trying to persuade someone to come around to agree with your definition of this faith word. It needs to be academic. So look at that link and the difference between first, second, third. You can use first person for the first paragraph or two when you're talking about your personal experience or illustration, if you're using something personal, and everything else has to be in third person, which is they, he, she, it, words like that. So you're working on that. You're drafting your definition essay. Let me see. Don't forget supports. You need to support your points. Make sure your thesis is very clear and specific, and that every main point you have goes back to that thesis. I would even encourage you at this point to write, before you even start writing, have your thesis and then have like your 3 or 4 main points that support your thesis, and make sure that they all support them, and make sure you have enough meat and content for each supporting point, and that will ensure that you have a very good thought out essay. Maybe you write the thesis and then you have your 3 or 4 points, but you realize that they need to be in a different order. Doing a outline before you start writing even the essay will help you get all of that clear. So drafting your definition essay. Then you have a couple of analyzing exercises. Do the same thing that we've done before. Number the question, type out the question, and then type out your answer. That makes it easier for me as I grade to be able to see exactly what you're talking about. So that's for those 2 assignments. For assignment 4.4, you do not need to submit an entire revision of your essay. Look at the questions. How do you begin? Does it grab the audience's attention? So you have 3 questions, each one with multiple questions within it. You don't need to submit a revision of your essay at that point, but I need very detailed answers, not just, yeah, I think it works that way, or like if it says, do you think it will get your audience's attention? I need more than yes, I think it will. I need, yes, it will because of this, because I say this, because I use this point. I need 3, 4, 5 sentence, 6 sentence answers for these questions, so that I know that you're really mulling through your essay and really processing where it is and what you need to improve on. So give me some very detailed answers. There's no page limit, but I'll be able to tell based on your answers if you're really grappling with your essay and giving yourself a really true critique of your work. That's for 4.4. Again, no essay draft, but be very detailed in the answers that you provide to those questions. And then 4.5, giving me your final draft of your definition essay. Make sure you check for the spelling, grammar, punctuation. At this point, you're best. It's hard to do this kind of an essay without outside support, you need to look. This is where the Crow Library online really comes into play. You can look up journal articles and books online, things like that you can access. If you don't have easy access to a public library, the Moody Library online has tons and tons of stuff. I've been on there some looking around, and there's a lot of resources there. So you're going to want to use at least a couple, aside from the Bible, at least a couple outside resources to really support your points. If you have 3 or 4 points, but if it's just based all on your own experience, that doesn't mean as much to a reader to persuade them to agree with you as if you have outside support. Readers tend to be more apt to agree with you if you have someone else say the same thing. Kind of like, I'm not sure about you, but when I was young and my parents would tell me something, I'd be like, yeah, okay, that's nice, but whatever. But if someone else told me the exact same thing, I took it to heart. Same thing here. If you say, I believe faith means this. Okay, that's good. And if you have personal examples, that's helpful. But who else says the same thing as you? What famous author? Sproul, Piper, Francis Chan, contemporary people from, even D.L. Moody, people from the past. Graham, who from any other time, from articles and books and preaching and seminars, who else has that same definition as you? Use them, quote them, reference them, and then make sure they are in the works cited. The OWL citation sheet that I provided you in the first week is going to be your best friend for these next few essays. It shows you how to cite a quote and referencing someone within the text, and it shows you how to cite articles, web, video, audio, everything. It shows you how to cite all of those in the works cited, which is at the end. Works cited have to be in alpha order, and if you quote it or if you reference it, you have to cite it. So make sure you are aware of that. So for that definition essay, you're going to want some outside support, and you're going to want to make sure you have works cited and have everything in MLA. Let's see, and then the discussion board this week, looking at the Church of the Mainland's advertisement and how you define the word church. What do you base your definition on? Again, go beyond the Bible. The Bible obviously is our go-to for everything, but what is it based on your experience? I wouldn't go so far as like beyond your experience, but who else do you know that defines it the same way that you do? And use that to bolster your support for your definition. And then same as always, read 2 of your classmates' responses and then respond to them. And that will be due by Friday at midnight for the discussion board. So I believe that is it for this week. Again, any questions, any concerns, anything like that, get in touch with me. I'll be happy to touch base with you, help you out however I can. And I believe that is it for this week. Everyone have a great week.